Guys, stop apologizing for being proud of yourself. Sometimes people that talk to me, they'll be like, oh my God, they'll be like, I'm sorry, man. I feel like I'm just talking about myself. I'm like, hey man, listen, it's okay to believe in yourself around me, buddy. Okay? You're giving me hope. When good shit happens to people, I get hopeful. Cause that's the positive about being selfish.
Welcome to FredTalk, where if you're not learning, hopefully you're laughing.
Welcome back to FredTalk. I am your host, Freddie Valoy. Today's episode is such a fun one. I have an awesome dude on. His name is Alex Montes. And we talk friendship, we talk heartbreak, we talk love, finding love, and we talk anime, which all those things I just said before is pretty much what you find in anime. Now, if you don't listen to anime and you're like, fuck this shit, I don't want to stick around, because we connect some disparate thoughts, and one of the main ones that we focus on is arguably one of the best pieces of art I've ever consumed in my life. There's a story arc in there that depicts the human condition the best I've ever seen it. It's just so amazing. So if you've been on the fence about anime and things like that, or you just like really good storytelling, stick around. This may convince you to go watch the show, or even just start watching anime if you want something different, something a little more unpredictable. That's one thing about a Japanese animation, is they don't typically follow some of the stereotypical tropes. You watch enough TV and then you can start to see patterns. But we tie that into like philosophy and what Alex has learned and things like that. And then he just goes through some situations in his life, some very real things that we've all been through with, love and heartbreak and all sorts of things like that. He gets very vulnerable, and this is a typical Fred Talk episode, and we geek out. If you have been thinking about watching the show Hunter x Hunter, which is one of the main shows that we focus on, it's big spoilers. So once we start talking about Hunter x Hunter, go ahead and skip to somewhere in like the 30-something minute mark, because there's spoilers in there. If you don't mind spoilers, then watch it. But if you've never seen it and don't plan to, stick around, because we give you a recap, and I promise you may be convinced to go start watching the show. It's so good. I was crying like a baby. Without any further ado, guys, this episode is brought to you by the guys over at ownthechaos.com. Go to ownthechaos.com to sign up for their stock watch list, where they give you the 5 stocks to watch the 5 stocks to watch that day, which is actually a useful email, all right? It's not something you're going to want to send to the junk or the spam folder. So hit the guys up at ownthechaos.com, and you can catch me there Thursdays at 3:30 as color commentary. Now, without any further ado, everybody give it up for Alex Montes, baby. Yeah. Yay. Alex, so love your energy.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah. Dude, you're a kind person. You tell me you're anxious, but you don't ever give off anxious energy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which I find very, very interesting. How has consuming or watching anime, how has that affected your life?
I mean, for me, like there's a certain type of anime that I do watch, and it's called shonen, and that's essentially like the hero story. So a lot of the times I like to think that I'm the main character syndrome, except it's not like really bad. Yeah. It's just like, you get put in situations where it's like difficult to like process normally. So I think of it as like a story, or like I guess for reference, manga is like the book version of anime. And so I just feel like this is just another chapter or another arc in the story. And so I'm like, I have to mentally like break down everything and just be like, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you get past it. This is not what we want to do. Like, just make sure you don't hurt yourself during the process, and just make sure you just don't fail at anything, which is a lot of the times what's going to happen, because that's just character development. But like, it's the best possible thing that could happen.
I literally do the same thing. So like growing up, my first anime was Dragon Ball Z. And at the same time, like wrestling was like the focus of my life. So it worked out, because Goku was like, train hard, eat, be a good person type thing. So that was like the thing. That was the thing that would get me up in the morning. Like, all right, what would Goku do? Like training. Then I took a break off anime and recently got back on board. And it's so, I feel self-conscious telling people, I don't tell many people that. I mean, this is the same thing. Like, all right, oh shit, I started watching Naruto, and it's the same thing. I'm like, Oh, actually, no. It was Demon Slayer was the first one that I got back in on.
Solid choice for a first anime.
That's one of the ones I tell people. Demon Slayer, and he's training, and at the time, a week after starting Demon Slayer, I took a break from alcohol and marijuana. I've already lost 24 pounds.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, dude. Because I'm sitting there and it's talking about being your best person, and I'm sitting there high and drunk, like I'm not being my best person right now. So I love that you look at it that way, because I think it is a viable way to process things. And one interesting thing is, like, I'm not religious in like a direct sense, but a lot of these stories, whether they're anime or comic books, they take those archetypes. A lot of those archetypes are in like the Bible and shit like that. So now I just tell people, maybe I'm like indirectly religious. Like if I need like OD discipline, I think of Batman or something like that, or like kindness, I think of another character. Shit like that. Give me what's an example from your life where like, you know, thinking about anime has helped you push through.
So there's a lot of times where I kind of I'm at work. I've worked a lot of different jobs. Like I worked fast food, I worked retail, I've worked right now I'm working labor. I'm an electrician. So nice. A lot of the times I feel like this like weight on my shoulder, and like how I have a lot of responsibility, like, you know, paying bills, having to like feed your family with the income that you get. And so a lot of the times, like, I feel like there's so much weight on me that I want to give up. But like thinking about the stories that you read, most of the time it's just never give up, and like you need to push through regardless of how tough it is. So I like to take those, like, for you to make the reference a little bit clearer to you, like Demon Slayer, like Tanjiro literally lost his entire family. At that point, I don't know if any other normal human being would fucking be able to move on from that, but he's able to do it because he was able to like have like this perseverance, this like ability to just move forward and make himself better just to protect others, because he doesn't want anybody else feeling the same way he did when he lost his family. Yeah. So it's like, that's a good motivational like thing to keep in mind. It's like, you're doing this for people that you care about the most. You don't want to let them down. So it's like, you should always keep that in your head whenever you feel like you're lowest.
Yeah. That's important. You read that in self-help books and all that. It's like, think of something bigger than yourself, whether it's God, family, like other people, like how your actions are going to affect other people. I think that's a good point. He did lose, like at the beginning, you just see the whole thing. He's just crying. You're like, what the fuck just happened? Like, and
then his sister ends up being like a demon. Yeah, like he can contain it, and that's another good lesson, because it's like that could be like a metaphor for toxic family.
Yeah, explain. Yeah.
So like the sister becomes a demon, but like she like off the rip like attacked Tanjiro like in the first episode, and he's trying to like get her back to her senses to become human. And so for me, like I could easily just use that for like, say, a thesis, if we were to do like a mental health thesis, and just be like, your family member doesn't know, they're blindly raged by something's bothering them. In this case, Tanjiro's sister is a demon, so obviously it's like you want to kill humans. For like in real world situations, your sibling could be dealing with like the worst shit right now, like that you don't know their lives as well, like depending on what kind of sibling you have that tells you everything. But like it's kind of wild to think that like there's so much distraught in a person that could change them like drastically, like the complete opposite of themselves, and you're trying to help them. And that's essentially like the similarities to that like idea. And then the story, it's like you're trying to help them be the better version of themselves. And throughout the story, you see that Nezuko, the sister, is gradually becoming good, you know? And like there's hurdles. Like in the latest season, she finally becomes like the full form adult. Yes. And like is beating the fucking shit out of the other demon like crazy. Like, but then she kind of like has that moment where she's like, she can't change back. Yeah. And she's being mad aggressive. And it's just like, for me, it just reminds me of like, have your like sibling is going through like a rage moment. You have to calm them down. You have to make sure they're okay. You have to make sure that they're thinking straight. And so for me, I'm just like, oh wow, that's a really good sibling like ideology.
What do you do to keep like the patience and to have that grace? Like, what do you do for yourself to keep that room so that you can help your family members or friends?
For me, it's more so I like to think I'm a very patient person when it comes to other people. I don't really get mad that often or easily, but like for someone like me, it's super easy to keep patient, like keep my patience like with other people. I don't like I just think like in their shoes. I just think about how they're feeling, and I'm like, I can understand the blindness of like being super emotional, that you're just not aware of what's like going on around you.
Yeah.
So I just take that into like perspective.
Where do you think you get that from?
My experience with people. Like, I talk to a lot of people, you know, I always talk about how like I'm super like quiet. I like to keep to myself, but a lot of the times I could tell when someone's having a bad day, and I like to talk to them because I know they just need someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people are willing to listen to anybody's problems. Like, and I feel like that's a really bad thing that's going on right now. Nobody just wants to hear anybody.
Yeah.
But I like hearing people's problems out, and I love telling them like it's going to be okay. It's just not going to happen as fast as you think it'll be.
Yeah.
You know?
Why do you like listening to other people's problems? Because I'm the same way.
Because for me, it's like nobody listens to me. I don't have a lot of people that listen to me like express my problems. And I don't want that for anybody else, because I want people to be heard, and I want people to understand that everyone can kind of go through the similar thing. You're not alone, because I have a big problem with wanting to not be alone.
Yeah.
But a majority of my time I am alone, and it's a positive thing sometimes, but like a lot of the times I will be in my head and it'll just be negative.
Yeah.
It's super negative.
Yeah.
And I just don't want that for somebody else.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those weird things where like, if you're depressed or anxious or you've been wronged by the world, I feel like there's two ways that you either lash out at other people and treat other people like shit, or the opposite. I think you and I both maybe fall into these camps. Is like, we beat ourselves up about, we just keep it all in. We struggle with that whole thing. Yeah, man. Shit, where was I going with that?
I mean, like for me, it's like, I'm very empathetic. Like, I understand other people's feelings faster than they would themselves.
Yeah.
And so I'm not like I don't read people. I just feel it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I can tell when somebody's just in the worst mood possible. Mm-hmm. And it's super hard to be able to tell them that it'll be okay. And then it is okay. Like, it's just, it's like puzzle pieces. It's like doing 150 puzzle.
Yeah.
You get aggravated in the beginning because you don't know where shit goes. And then like, as you're gradually going, you're like, okay, this fits here, this fits there. And then you'll have the finished puzzle.
I read a book recently called The Art of Impossible. And one of the things that helped me with the feeling of frustration was, he said that if you're feeling frustrated, it's likely that you're on the right path. Mm-hmm. So you just got to, find a way to deal with that momentary frustration. And we've all been there where when we get on the other side of it, we were like, oh shit, that was kind of good for me. Like it's funny you say you can feel when people are having a bad day, because a couple months ago, I was having just not the best day. I was tired by the time I got to the open mics. It was a long day at work. Mm-hmm. And I was leaving, I just bombed and I was leaving, and you came out and you told me some good news about your life. Mm-hmm. That legit, when you told me that, you told me you'd just gotten I think it was like your first girlfriend or whatever. And it was like that legit. I was like, when we walked away from each other, I was like, oh, that made the whole day worth it. That like turned my whole day around. Like, hearing that good news, the fact that you decided to be vulnerable about that. You followed me outside. So it was just me and you talking. And I thought that was really fucking cool, man. I want to thank you for that.
Oh no, dude. Yeah. I just really hate seeing people upset. Or like, I hate seeing like the dark clouds over people. That's like the worst thing I could see in someone.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I need to get rid of that. Or like, I just need to take the Swiffer duster and just.
But I love how because I think it would have been different if you were like, hey man, it'll be all right. Like, I don't think it would have had the same effect as you told me something good that happened in your life. And I was like, fuck yeah, man. I was like, this is awesome. Like,
that's crazy. You thought you bombed that night?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I didn't think you bombed. Dude. Those are some solid jokes, man.
Yeah, I think my threshold for bombing's different, because I think you're right. Maybe, because I've been on a streak and I've been doing well. So when I do like okay, I'm like, I fucking bombed.
Yeah, because my friend was in the audience. There, okay. She was in the audience. She said you did all right. Like, she genuinely enjoyed your set. Granted, nice. She's only been to a couple of shows.
Yeah.
A few times. Like, that was her second show I took her to, like, ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from what she says, from like like someone new to like comedy, she enjoyed your jokes.
Oh, cool. Awesome. I want to talk about, I just watched the anime Hunter x Hunter. So sad that it's not continuing, but I want to talk about season 5, because I think that is arguably one of the best pieces. Like, the best stories in all, I mean, anything you could find out there. Cause I feel like, and even for people who don't watch anime listening to this, it captures, I think it depicts the human condition in the best way possible through the villain and all that. So like, what is your take on, what is your take on it's called the Chimera arc?
Yeah, the Chimera arc.
Yeah.
The arc. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you finish? You did finish it.
I
right?
finished the whole show. Yeah. Yeah.
Before, did you cry?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. So when the king found the little girl in the box, can you give a quick synopsis of the season before we go on?
Yeah.
That would be, and try to do it for people that don't watch the show.
So the Chimera ant arc in Hunter x Hunter is when there's these eggs that they find on the side of a river. The Hunter Association, they find this giant group. It's technically the FBI, but for superheroes, essentially. And so what happens is they find these eggs on the side of like a river or so, and they don't know what it is. They're like gigantic. They're getting huge, and they're noticing a lot of missing villagers that are gone. And so essentially it's just these giant like animal mutation, like people, like they're just like, think of Animorphs, but like they're just animals forever. Like they don't change back to humans. And essentially it's a play on, in my opinion, immigration.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's a play on immigration because these are like beings that weren't here before and they're just trying to live their life as, nature precedes it. They're animals, so they don't know how to live it like a human. And so essentially they're just trying to get like, they're trying to live their life how they think life works for them. And so a lot of them are different animals. So obviously the animal kingdom comes into play. Like there's a person that's like a tiger that like develops like an ability, like all the regular people in the story. Like he runs like really fast, but he's stupid.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if you remember the scene where he's like, oh, like, where's your friend, to the old dude that's just standing there, and he turns around and this fucking dude comes out of the sky and like, you remember that scene?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And just fucking plummets him. He's like, haha, you're tricking me. And then all of a sudden, doosh, fucking death. Yeah. It was crazy. Like and the immigration part is that they're just like people that just want to live.
Yeah.
Like it's just human nature at its finest, because a lot of them are starting to discover humanity, morality, like just the way of thinking, that it's just like you start to feel empathy towards these, like the ants. And it's like,
and they're supposed to be essentially the bad guys in the whole thing. And one thing I want to bring up is the first round of ants were kind of drones. They were very ant-like. They all worked together, community. They couldn't even communicate. They couldn't speak. And as they evolve, because they were consuming animals, so when they started consuming humans, they take on the properties of the things they consume, and that's when it starts getting tricky for them, because the individualism of humans now started to break apart their ant cooperation, and that's when they started to develop the things you're saying.
Yeah, like humanity, morality. And they started, and what's crazy is that when they get reborn, when they eat the humans and then they reborn them, they technically still have their memories, so they're still that person they ate.
Yes.
And so it's like, that's fucked up, because it's like these are just normal people that were living their lives. Like one of the main ants that was part of the story was just a little boy.
Yes.
It was a little boy, and you don't know he was that little boy till later on, where he figures out that like, oh, I remember seeing my mother in the farm, and the mom was the only one that survived out of the two kids. He had a sister that he still doesn't know if she survived or whatever. And so he goes back to the village to recruit more humans, and then he goes back to his home village. And he's like, I can't do this. He's like, this isn't how we should live.
Yep.
And so he starts developing a rebellion for that. And then he goes to the Hunter Association, is like, listen, not all of us are bad. Like we just don't know what we're doing. And so like, it's just another form of like realizing you're wrong and wanting to turn back and be the greater good, essentially. Yeah.
It's interesting. You see the bad guys become more human, and you see what the main character at one point becomes more animalistic.
Yeah, gone.
Yeah, and you're like, it's very dark. You're like, holy shit. And at the end of the day, he's just a little kid put into a very dark
this
world.
Dude right here, man.
He's on your shirt.
So fucking and it's funny. A lot of people when we talk about this anime, like a lot of people compare me as Gon, because he's just an innocent kid, and he loses someone very close to him to like one of the ants. His name was Kite. He was like, in the anime, it doesn't do a good job of explaining why he was so important to him, but in the manga, he was the father figure. You see him a lot more in the early books versus like you see him in season 5. That's when you first see him. And then now that you just saw him, he dies. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, that was way too fast of a death.
Okay.
But in the manga, like he's there a lot. Like
Okay.
he's there supporting Gon, trying to tell him how to learn his Nen and all of that. Nen, by the way, for the people that are listening, is like their ability. It's like their pure energy. Everyone has a unique Nen. Like the other main character, Killua.
Another word for Nen would be like chakra or you know, that type of thing.
Yeah, everyone has their own kind of like special thing. Like the supporting character Killua has the ability called Kamui, which is in Japanese translation, it's like lightning speed. So he has the ability to just go lightning speed whenever he wants. His whole body like alters into like electricity, and he just can run fast, and he could control lightning. And that has to do with a lot of him growing up. He was an assassin. He was raised by a family of assassins, so he had to endure a lot of torture. And so he was able to tase himself with like a taser for a long time, and then
charge up.
to charge up and develop. And I was like, that's so fucking raw.
That's an interesting juxtaposition because they, you know, Gon's the main character. Killua was his, you know, that you see them
They're
most.
both good friends.
Gon was, you know, happy, grew up in the wilderness, blah blah blah. Killua, born to a family of assassins, he grew up in a toxic ass environment, and that point where Gon, the happy-go-lucky, goes animalistic.
Berserk, yeah.
Killua was the one trying to bring some more humanity to him, which is just interesting how you can see things can change quick, you know?
Yeah, and like and to back on Gon, like Gon loses his like father figure in a really gruesome way because he was on a mission with Kite, and then Kite instantly like felt high energy output, which was one of the guards of the king coming to like pray. It was a crazy scene because the one of the soldiers was like on a top of a tower, and they were really fucking far, like I think 350 meters away, and the guard smelled them from that far and just fucking charged up and jumps at them 300 feet away or like farther. And I'm like, dude, yeah, they are crazy.
Yeah.
And so there initiates a fight, and then Kite thinks he won, and then the guard cuts his arm off and tells Killua and Gon, go away, go. This is dangerous. And then you don't see Kite for a while until like halfway through the season, we finally see Kite, and Kite dies. Kite died. And so it's like, it's a grief. It's like learning grief for Gon because he's never actually lost anybody that close to him. He lost his father, but like his father didn't die. His father is a shitty father. He just abandoned him.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
but, Kite dying and him seeing his dead body just like aimlessly walk around like a puppet, like a jester, it crushes his humanity, and he just wants to kill them all. So you slowly see his humanity go away until like he finally finds the person that killed Kite and just goes absolutely fucking wild and like kills the guard, but like in a brutal way.
Oh yeah. He just like he's just punching. He already crushed the skull with the first punch, and he just keeps charging.
Just keeps
going, dude. Yeah, it's wild. Going back to the main, you talked about the main ant Colt, the one that sees his mother, that has the change of heart. He's one of the first
of the few
like sentient ants that has the
human, the human ability, like the human like mindset. They were the first of the human like ants to become like ants. And so
his thing changed when the king was born, because that was the queen's goal was once the king is born, and already the royal guards could possibly beat all the hunters, all this stuff. And when the king was born, he beheads the intellectual, like the librarian of the ants.
Oh yeah.
There was one ant that I guess he got eaten. He was like a librarian.
It was like a penguin,
books.
yeah.
Yeah, he was the one that was teaching him like, oh, look, these humans have these things called books. You really love. His name was Peggy. You loved him so much. Immediately gets beheaded, and that's when Colt changes his mind and wants to go back. So the king starts off as this like, you know, just beheading people. Why are you talking? Very just animalistic. And then towards the end, I mean, you just see him grow. And one of the main reasons is because this little girl is Komugi.
Kogumi. Yeah, Kogumi is I forgot the game, but it's Chinese chess. Yeah, Gongi.
Yeah.
I think it's Chinese chess. I don't know. Correct me.
Apparently it's more complex than Go, and I heard Go is extremely complex.
Yeah, it's like this one is more so like it's extremely tactical chess. You could lose in one move kind of shit.
Oh wow.
Like you have to think about everything like it's war. Like, yeah, chess is the same thing, but it's like you have more plays to do like your move. In this one, it's like if you make just the smallest wrong move, it's game over.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because he was playing chess at first, then he beat like the chess world master, and like after 8 games he was able to beat him, and the guy was like the king was like, come back, if you lose you die, essentially.
Yeah.
So before he could even come back the next day, the chess master hangs himself, kills himself. So then he moves on to Gungi, and he plays this little girl who's the best in the world, and he cannot beat this little girl, and throughout the whole thing starts to like, he just learns from her, and the one of the moments where you start to be like, hold the fuck up, is when he says, if you lose, you die. Oh no, he goes, you lose, I'm gonna cut off your left arm. He tells this to like a 7-year-old girl, and she goes, he's like, I don't want to be rude, but can we make another deal? He's like, why? Like, why? Mind you, nobody talks back to the king, and he's giving her this opportunity to say why. She goes, if I lose, can you just kill me? And he's like, why? He's like, because this is my life as Gungi. If I can't play this, then I might as well just die. And like, he fucking cuts his own arm off. He's like, and apologizes to her. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, dude, he like rips it off at one go. He's like, he grabs it. You think he's about to just like be like apologetic, but no, he just like comes off. And he's like, accept this as an apology. And she's like, and she's blind too, so she can't see. Yeah. But she just hears like, what was that? Like, I don't know what that sound was. I've never heard that sound before. And he's like, just accept this as an apology. And then she just starts like kind of like freaking out a little bit because she's like, I don't know what's going on. And that's when you see his humanity, like the slither of humanity coming, because he's like, oh, I'm scaring her.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry, I don't mean this to frighten you. We'll continue this tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, he just puts the game to a halt, and I'm like, yo, did he just show empathy?
Yes. Yeah.
I was like,
oh my God.
And then he gets his guard. He's like, hey, like, fix this for me. Like, we'll continue this tomorrow. Take her to her room, give her whatever she needs. And I was like, dude, okay, I like this character now. This character is getting complex.
Yes.
I'm like, he's not just a basic like villain. Like, he's
like, I just want to control the world. That's how he started. And then towards the end, he becomes superhuman to the point where he's telling the other ants, like, apologizing to them and saying, go live a human life if you can. Yeah. Kind of thing. So you asked me earlier when I cried, and I started crying when there's a point in the story for people listening that the girl gets hurt, she gets taken away from the king, and now the king just wants her. And he finds, they tell her finally where she's at, and he opens up the box and he says, was it Kogumi?
Kogumi.
He says, Kogumi, wake up, let's play. I started crying. I was sitting in this chair watching it on this TV, and I was crying. And then obviously during the chess game, because he had a fight where a guy used a nuclear bomb.
Oh yeah. So Neturo.
Yeah.
I pronounce them like that just because it's like instinct now. Like, I'm full-fledged weeb, but like undercover weeb.
Yeah, I like that. It's so more fun too.
Like when I found out that he was like, I'm poisoned, like the bomb didn't kill me, but it had like a plan B. And so it's crazy. He had a bomb in his heart.
Yep.
He had a bomb in his heart ready. Like, if I die, this is last resort. And like, it's fucking crazy how somebody could like have that mentality and just be like, if I'm not going to kill you, something will. And so I think just watching him get put back together after the whole atomic bomb, because he did get obliterated.
He did.
He got super fucking crisped up.
He would have died if his royal guards weren't there. Yeah.
But then it was like, listen, there's something you need to know. The atomic bomb had a poisoning, and anybody within that range is gonna die. And all 3 guards were there for the king. And I was like, oh shit, that's how they got rid of them.
Yep.
They're so powerful that they needed poison to fucking kill them. Nobody knew. Yeah. They just died like off screen, I guess, sometime, like a little bit, but none of the main characters was able to defeat them. That's how fucking strong they were.
And I love that it wasn't that typical, like, the main character ends up saving the day kind of thing.
It was like a logical reasoning to their deaths. And I was like, that's fucking wild.
Yeah. And then, so, they're playing the chess game. It's a very somber moment. He keeps asking, he's like, are you there? Kogumi, are you there? Oh, bro. Dude. And he was like, you need to leave. He's like, I have this poison and you're going to get sick if you stay near me. And she was like, I won't leave she says, I won't leave you by your side. I'm like, eyes are watering.
I know, dude.
And then they both they die.
They die, but holding each other. And then at the end, because it's played the really soft, like, the outro, and then it just posts up all white, and then like an actual hand drawing of them just dead, but like you see the goal board just broken because they still played on the broken board, and I was like, bro, yes. I was like, that's goals, dude.
Yeah, so he's one of the better villains that I've ever seen. I mean, at the end, he wasn't even wasn't evil anymore. No, he wasn't,
because Gon had him there. They met. The main character, Gon, finally meets the king, and the king's like, listen, I want no problems. I just want her. And he's like, go ahead. Like, I did my business. Now you get to, well, technically Gon did kill the one of the guards.
Yeah.
So I guess, technically a hero beat the villain, but no, it was just a really fucking cool, like, character progression for the king, dude. It was fantastic. He's still, like, to this day, because that anime came out originally 98, and then the new version came out in 08 or 06, I don't remember, but like to this day he's still regarded as the best villain ever.
Wow.
Yeah, to this
that makes
day,
sense
in the anime community.
I kind of was like, I felt like I did meth watching that arc. And now I'm like, I was like, all right, I already knew. I was like, there's not going to be anything like, I was just asking people, like, what's another anime with an arc in the story that's kind of like this? So I'm watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood now.
Fuck yeah, dude. That one is another one. And that one has multiple moments where you will cry.
Okay.
Multiple moments. Not like the one. I know for me in Hunter x Hunter, there was that moment, and then there was the moment where Killua finally beats the dude that was talking shit about his family. Or not Killua. What's his name? Kurapika. The one that has the chain.
Yeah, the chain.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite fucking character, by the way.
He's cool.
He's
cool.
raw as shit.
There's another thing. Hold on. Oh, there's another moment where I was very, very close to crying, but I was super emotional. It was the octopus ant, Ikago, when he was in the control room and he couldn't kill the other ant. Yeah. He was like, I'm a coward. And he was like sobbing in the control room. He's like, I'm a coward. I was like, you're not a coward. You just have a heart. Like, it's okay. It's okay. And it worked out because the lobster ended up being good. Like,
he ended up being the homie. Yeah. And I was like, bro, like, that's so cool. That's like a real, like, homie moment. The bully, like, the bully that, like, is picking on the little kid, and the little kid comes out on top. It's like, damn, dude, that's so fucking wild. That was a stressful moment. That moment, because like, it's like he's trying to find him. The lobster's trying to look for him. And he's like, what the fuck do I do? Like, I'm not special. Like, I can't hide, or I can't do this and that. And it's like, oh, dude, you're just downing yourself, man. Yeah. Like, I saw a little bit of me in him.
Yes. Oh my gosh, dude. That moment where Killua was like, I think you're cool. He was like,
yeah, and he started.
You think like, I'm cool? And that whole thing, I was like, I literally was sitting here like, oh, like,
yeah. That's all I've ever wanted in my life, is somebody to just be like authentically, like, I don't know anybody, like this and that, and be like, dude, you're a cool dude. I really appreciate you. And I'm like, fuck, dude.
Bro, I've always thought that about you, man. Like, just like I said, your energy, just, I mean, you got style, like, to the T, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, inside and out, bro, you're a cool ass motherfucker. All right, so which character are you in Hunter x Hunter? Like, when you're watching it, you're like, I'm most like
me. I want to be Kurapika, but I'm really going.
Okay.
I'm really going. Like, my friend Steven, I talked to you about him off air. He's the Killua to my Gon.
Oh,
yeah, so
nice.
he's the homie, and we have a Leorio too, and a Kurapika. So like, it really fits the dynamic for the homies.
Yeah.
But no, like, I have my Killua and I'm his Gon. So like, it sounds really fucking cheesy, but that's just how like friends are. Yeah. Essentially, like, a lot of people have their SpongeBob and Patrick. A lot of people have their, like, you know, Superman to Batman. I got my Killua to the Gon. So It's like, Gon really just shows an innocent, like, I always want to help regardless of what I do. Like, whether or not it's gonna hurt me or not, I don't care. I'm willing to push aside pain. I'm willing to push aside, like, just hard raw emotions just so I could help someone out.
I feel like I'm moral. In Hunter x Hunter, dude with the pipe.
Dude, he's funny as shit. Cause like, there's that one point where he's like under the water. He's like, you think you got me? And he fucking makes the bubble of air. And I was like, dude, you're such a thug.
Yeah, bro, he's awesome. Just his whole vibe. He's just like, so that's the one in that show. When I was watching Naruto, because anything I watch, MCU stuff, I do the same thing. I'm like, oh, that's my boy. He's Iron Man for sure. For Naruto, It took me a minute to like. It took me 3 months, 4 months to get through that. 700 something episodes. And I was more so like picking mixes of people. Like, I'm a mix of maybe Itachi and Naruto or something like that, just whatever. And I was like, damn, who could it be? And then I recently, like in the last like month or so, was like, oh shit. Like I was watching Hashirama highlights and I was like, and I hate to say that I'm Hashirama just because he's like whatever, the god of shinobis or whatever. But I was looking at it. I was like, he's stupidly idealistic, easily depressed. So I already got those 2 check marks. And then the immense chakra reserves because I'm a high energy person. And then one thing I'm a sucker for, and these 2 characters, one in Naruto, Hashirama, and Netero is like any kind of Buddhist iconography. So if you're like, if they use that as a form of battle, I love that because I feel like I'm a spiritual person, but I also, I was a cage fighter, so I throw hands too. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's why another reason I love Hashirama. Like when he was fighting Madara and he did that fucking 1,000 arm veritable, I was like, oh shit! Like
No, yeah, it's crazy because it's like he like molded it out of like rock from the ground and it just comes up and it's like fucking 100 hits. Yeah. And it's like I'm like, yo, whoa, because like Madara is considered like the strongest shinobi in like the whole thing. So like just watching some like another Hokage fucking do some shit like that, it was fucking wild.
Yeah, what is it called? Artifact of the Buddha is what it's called. He's like artifact and all, and Madara threw like he threw tailed beast bombs wrapped in some other shit, and dude was just throwing wooden hands.
Dude threw the sun twice. Yeah. He threw the sun twice. Yes. Everybody was like, "We got it." The first time is like, check again. Yeah. It was crazy. No, I mean for me, like a lot of my friends would say I'm Choji. Because of growth, character growth, not because they're being funny, but like they're like truly saying that I'm Choji. Yeah. But I had another, like my close group of homies call me Shikamaru.
Yes, love that.
Yeah, so they're like, yeah, you're the brain, like you've always been the kind of person to really plan out things well, and you're also the kind of person to keep timid, like keep calm in like crazy situations, and you just don't show like your emotions as often as somebody else might see you as. Like you're a very in your place kind of person, but you're also like a mad good underrated leader. And I was like, oh, that's nice, guys. I was like, but I'm not the leader, like of this group. I'm just the dude. Yeah, which is funny. Like my friend group, they like to call it's me and then my homie Tristan. Like they like to call us the leader, and I don't like that label. Why? Because for me, like I don't want everyone to think that they can come up to me and like ask me what to do. I like to be able to be like suggesting things and not have to be on a higher pedestal. I want to be like as equal with the homies. So I always like a lot of the times we'll be hanging out and they'll be like, what do you want to do? And Alex, and I'm like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I'm just here. Like, honestly, like if you want to like watch a movie, like let's watch a movie. Yeah, I'm down with that. If you want to go get something to eat, let's go get some sushi or some Korean like barbecue or something like that. Like just, I don't like making decisions. I like telling people, hey, like whatever you want to do, I'm cool with. And if the group agrees, then let's do it. If the group disagrees, let's have a conversation.
But people typically come to you for what?
For a lot lot of stuff.
See, this thing about leadership, Alex, is that you don't have a choice, dog. Call it whatever you want. It's a vibe, bro. That's what's cool because it's like in Gladiator. You know what I'm saying? Commodus wanted to. I got this from Aaron Ransom the other day. We were talking. Commodus wanted to be the dude. He wanted to be, and Maximus was like, I don't give a fuck. Like I just want to. He was just vibing, and everyone followed him. So it's just people were coming up to you for a reason. I was like that in college. I'd be like, why the fuck people keep texting me? What are we doing tonight? Why do so many people? Yeah. And then my girl was like, the girl's name, she was like, that's because, whatever, blah, blah. So then you start to like, as you go through life, you just pick moments and you're like, oh shit, maybe I am that person. And you kind of have to accept it. It's like, Yeah, like in high school, I was never that person. Oh, I mean, maybe to the group, but like the core group, which was like the 4 people in my core group. Because in high school, I had a core group and then I had people that were just coming up to the group in the morning. Okay. And so I'd be like, I mean, nobody really did that to me. Now that we're out of high school, like it's more of a like an appearing role. Like I have that role now. So it's kind of weird. It's weird adjusting to things outside of school versus like when you're so fresh out of school, it's like, damn, is this what life is? It's just you wake up, go to work, and then hang out with friends and then go to bed. Yeah. And then time goes by super fast. Did you go to college?
I went to college for 2 years and then I had to leave to help my family out. I went to Appalachia State for graphic design and photography and film.
Okay.
I was really heavy into the arts. So like I had just a lot of opportunity to do that. So I decided to take it because I'm a very artistic person. I do a lot of stuff.
And what's great is that you're still doing all that stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're still, with the projects you have coming up and all that. You're an electrician now, which I think another super cool thing. You haven't tried to like electrocute yourself to charge up like kilowatt.
No. As a matter of fact, the only times I've ever been electrocuted was if somebody told me the power wasn't on, or the power was on, but they didn't tell me. So I had to like put in you guys call them outlets, but like for us, it's receptacles. Okay. So like putting in a receptacle, we'll put in the white wire and the black wire, and then I'll be holding it by the side to screw it in with my drill. All of a sudden the power's on and I'm like, fuck, that hurt. And it's like, that's the only times I'm very careful with that because I don't like being electrocuted.
How did you become an electrician?
I was dealing with jobs for a fat minute. Like when I was younger, I worked at Wendy's, I went to Jersey Mike's and Chipotle, and my brother hit me up with an opportunity. He was like, hey, like, we need some helpers, like for like the electrical company that I'm working at. And, you know, I feel like it's good money. You should probably come join. And I just started off then. I was like 16. And I didn't care about it when I was 16 because I'm a kid, and hard labor is something kids shouldn't really do because they don't have the mentality for it yet. They don't know what work ethic is because it's like they have a first few jobs and like, you know, cashier, you don't really have a lot of responsibilities other than, you know, knowing how much money you're taking from the other people. Yeah. But like in labor, like there's a lot of responsibility. You're building someone's house. So it's like you need to be on your shit all the time, or else, you know, you have a potential of starting a house fire and it'll be your fault. They won't know it's your fault, but you'll forever have that mentality of I just ruined someone's house. Oh, damn. So you always have to be on that. And that's why it's really bad for like younger kids to come in and have a mentality where they don't care about work, because then you might really be hurting someone. Damn, yeah. But I did that for 4 years, and then I left because I just wanted to do something else. And then I ended up working at Vans at Crabtree. Oh, nice. Yeah, I worked there for a solid 3 years. It was pretty cool. Honestly, one of my favorite. It was a dream job for me because I really do fuck with Vans. Yes. I used to wear a lot of Vans. Now I'm like in and out, like on my fashion styles. But Vans taught me a lot about human interaction because I was dealing with a lot of people that was coming in, like a lot of cool people. Yeah. I met a lot of my good friends there. Unfortunately, our friendships aren't like, I don't have those friendships anymore because of my mistakes. Oh, what mistakes? So I had a friend there that I was really like liking a lot. Like was starting to romantically like have like this feeling for them. Yeah. And I don't know how to ask out women. I'm just going to be straight up with you, dude. I don't know how to ask out women. I don't know how to do this, like anything. Like dating to me is like out of the spectrum because I've never gotten to experience it. In high school, I never had a girlfriend. I had a lot of friends that were girls because they always saw me as like the nice kid. Yeah. But a lot of the times those relationships ended shortly because they would think I was flirting, but really I was just being kind. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was being super nice. And so like a lot of the times they just thought I wanted to date them. And so it was really sucked. Oh, damn. But at Vans, like this girl, like I didn't know how to ask her out, but I was trying to ask friends to be like, how do I ask out a girl? And so like word spread around and she got offended. Oh, damn. Somebody leaked that information. That's fucked up. Yeah. And so like she went to our boss about it, and my boss came to me like as I was walking in work, he's like, yeah, we got to go talk. And I was like, oh shit. And you know, when you got to talk outside the store, it's fucking, it's fucking wild. Like something bad happened. Yeah. And he goes, yeah, like she might report you to HR and this and that. And I was like, for what? What did I do? Yeah. Oh, damn. How about now? You're a little more confident in asking a girl out? I just don't do it. And I just don't even try to anymore. Like for me, love has been like the worst thing for me. Like my life has just been like, love was always something that was never going to happen. And so like you had mentioned that I had a first girlfriend, like that thing ended in like 2 days. Damn. When I mentioned that, like after I told you, like things were looking up, and then I get a message and she's like, hey, like I don't think this is going to work out. Like I like you better as a friend. I don't want to think of you romantically. And I was like, was like, thanks for making me feel like shit. Like that doesn't help at all. Like on my self-confidence just like low, like steeped down like into like a bombing hill. And I was like, damn, dude, that just means I'm not cut out for it. So I just completely like threw it out of my head now. Like I don't even think about wanting to date. But like the story with Vans is that after that, like we became friends. Like again, like I kind of apologized.
Okay.
I do that a lot. I apologize for things I shouldn't be apologizing for. And that's what a lot of friends told me I shouldn't be apologizing for something like that. But I just felt really bad that they felt like
uncomfortable.
Yeah, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so I apologized to them and I was like, listen, I get it if you don't want to talk to me, but we're both managers and we need to talk to each other or else like it's just going to fuck up the environment.
Yeah.
And I don't want a toxic work environment. So I just want you to know, like, you can talk to me for whatever reason you want, but like, I don't want it to go sour.
Yeah. And I know everybody goes through their phases of, you know, they're kind of like fuck love kind of thing. And I'll let you have that. But
I mean, I'm not saying fuck love like it's the worst thing ever. Love is honestly the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's just for me, it's like I can't have it because I know it just won't happen. Like until I do something about like I feel like it's my physical appearance.
I disagree with that you'll never find love. All right. So what do you think you can do to kind of get yourself back on the
love track?
On the love track.
So,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
for me, damn, dude, that's tough because I never thought of it that way. I was like, how do I get back into it? For me, my biggest red flag is like I have body dysmorphia. I think about my body in the worst possible way. Like, I'm always thinking about how I'm sitting. I'm always thinking about how like how to adjust my shirt like to look better.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm out on shows, like I try to look the best I can. Like when I do open mics, I try to look the best I can. And I'll see a photo of myself and be like, oh, dude, I can't believe I wore that jacket with that pants and with those shoes. And it's like, I don't want to share it, but I also need to share it because it's just something comedians have to do, like to show that they're out doing shows. And so like, I just feel like I need to work on my body. And so that's why I'm like trying to go to the gym a lot more. I'm trying to do this and that, but it's so much. There's so much you can do when depression just hits you like a fucking rocket.
Bro, I get it. And I know like what I'm about to say isn't going to like, I'm not trying to like solve your problems. I think it's good that you want to get to the gym. If you want to go to the gym with me, I go with like Jordan Cornish. I go like, I love having, like I get a free guest at the gym. Okay. So we can go, and it's literally just, we hang out. So we'll do, I'll put you through a workout, something very like, it ain't gonna be crazy. It's just something to get you moving because you want to work out just to feel better. So I think this track that you're on is good just for the mentality and the depression and all that. I've never looked at a picture of you and been like, this nigga looks like shit. I've always looked at you and been like, yo, this is a cool ass motherfucker. Like I've never, like, I think you're a good looking dude, bro. 100%, man. I like, but I think the gym's a good idea because it's a good, a measurable way to be like, oh, I'm doing some shit. I set a goal. I made myself a promise, and I'm coming through on that promise to myself. So if you want like once or twice a week, you can come with me, bro. Like,
I'm super down. Yeah.
Yeah. I think weekends are typically better for you. So if you, we can do like, I usually go Saturday or Sunday afternoons. We'll start off with once a week, bro. And we'll just hang out, bro. We'll lift some weights. Like if you want, I can teach you some stuff. That way you can feel comfortable with making sure your form's good. But we're going to talk about anime and work up a sweat.
Okay. Yeah. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
But, a lot of that also comes from like the story continues from there. It's like it's not a long story because I tell it so much that like I've cutting it down super like to the fleshy parts. Yeah. But after that whole conversation, the whole like interaction of like me apologizing to her, I had a really close friend that I was working with there, and I would always tell him about my problems. He was the only person at work that did listen to me. And so I'd always tell him like, dude, I can't believe I just fucked up with like this chick, like this wonderful person that I poured my heart out for them. And he would always be like, dude, it's okay. Like, you got more opportunities like this and that. And so like, let's say all of that happened in December, a couple months pass and it's August. And I come in and there's a new employee and they go, hey, did you hear that so-and-so are dating? And it's my best friend and the girl that I was trying to, fuck. I was like, no, what do you mean? And they're like, yeah, here, look. And they showed me a Snapchat of them just like having a day, like being all like cuddly and this and that. And I was like, No, I didn't know that. And they were like, yeah, they've been dating for a while. I was like, how long? And they're like, since December.
So while you were talking to him,
Yeah.
oh, fuck. And he didn't tell you?
No, he didn't want to tell me.
Did you feel betrayed?
Dude, I felt so many emotions that day. When she said that, do you know whenever you get scared, you get cold?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt cold. I was like super depressed. I started tearing up and she was like, are you okay? And I was like, I just need a minute. And then another manager that was there, a new manager that ended up being a really close friend of mine. Shouts out to you, Logan. They were like, dude, I know I just met you, but I can tell you're don't want to be here. I was like, yeah, could you just watch the front? Like, I need to go to the break room. I go to the break room. I just start fucking crying. I'm like bawling my eyes out because I was like, I can't believe that just happened. Like the homie that I've been telling my problems to just fucking is dating the girl that I thought I could like get, like have like this relationship with. And so he finds out immediately that I know, and the girl too. But the dude came to the workplace that day and apologized.
Oh, okay. That's
and I was
silver lining.
Yeah. And so I was like, if you hadn't have apologized, I probably wouldn't be friends with you right now. But you're man enough to be able to apologize to me for something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, you really are a homie. Cause like you saw that I was in pain from that and you came immediately. The other girl, I didn't get an apology from at all. I don't blame them though. I don't think they should have apologized, but I feel like just letting me know would have been cool.
Yeah, yeah. You know how it is in our culture. It's like awkward conversations are like you might as well stab somebody in the chest. So a lot of people avoid them. Although I disagree with all that. I know most of society kind of rolls in that way. So like I think you accepting the apology was the right thing, and not and understanding that, you know, he just wanted to avoid like. Yeah,
he told me, he was like, I didn't want to hurt you because you're such a cool dude. Like you're nice. Like you've done a lot of nice things for all of us. Yeah. And I don't want to like sound like it might sound like a flex, but it's really not. For Christmas, I invited the whole crew to my apartment at the time and we had a Christmas party. Yeah. And I got all of them like really, really nice gifts. And this was also the year that my car got broken into. So I lost a lot of my stuff. I lost my Nintendo Switch. I lost all my sketchbooks from like high school. Damn. That I carried around with me so I could show people my art. So like years and years of artwork just gone. And then my latest sketchbook, which was it was a really expensive sketchbook. It was like a $140 sketchbook because it's a certain kind of paper that you need for like Japanese like marker. Yeah, yeah. But that got robbed and my car was just robbed. It's getting your car robbed just feels like awful. Yeah, yeah. And so they noticed that. So the girl that I was like really into, this is like a couple years or like a couple months after I found out, she got everyone to like try and pitch in for a gift for me because they knew about that. Yeah. But nobody did. Funny enough, she was the one who did get me a gift. I got them all like really good gifts. Like I got the homie like an Xbox controller and like a new game. And I don't know if you know how much Xbox controllers are. How much are they? They're like 70, like $90. Oh, damn. Yeah. So they're kind of expensive. Yeah. And so like I got him that. I got a couple other people like alcohol because like they like to drink. They're like an enthusiast with that. I got them some really nice like Jack Daniels, like the custom cups and shit like that. Very thoughtful gifts. Yeah. Like I really do well with gifts. And so like for her, I know she's really into art. She's like an artist. That's why I thought we clicked. Like we were really cool. We had a lot of interest. And so I went all out for her gift. I bought her like really expensive like color pencils and markers for like artists, like professional artists. And I bought her like a really, really nice leather like sketchbook. And I didn't know they bought me a gift at all. I don't ever like expect gifts, but like she comes out with this box and it's just art supplies that I really wanted. And like, I was like, dude, this is so cool. Like, I can't believe you got me a gift, only to find out that like, they just didn't like, they weren't fucking with me after that Christmas. Why? I don't know. Like they slowly were like being an asshole to me. Like they just were treating me badly, like throughout like, because COVID was about to hit in March. Yeah, yeah. And this was the Christmas before COVID. So like everything was going downhill, kind of like news and like, you know, we got a new boss and he was treating everyone like shit. So everybody was kind of stressed and she was starting to show like her true colors. Like I remember at one point we had a conversation and I was talking about leaving and she's like, yeah, like, I don't know if I would talk to anybody here if I left. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, I just put on an act, like a friendly act, like, cause it's just work. And for me, when I heard that, I was like, so like, are we not friends? Are we not really friends? Like, was everything that I told you just like an act? Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
So what have you learned through that experience with, I mean, because that part, a lot of people are like that. It's like, if you're not a part of my like thing, or it's an act. The coworkers, they'll call friends and they're not really friends. What did you learn through all that?
I learned to like, I'm still very open with a lot of people. I'm just very like, I have to be careful with who I'm open with.
That's good.
Because a lot of the times it could bite me in the ass, and I may feel bad if they like aren't really like, if I find out that they just don't really fuck with me and I tell them something like vulnerable, like it's like, well, I just let you into my like side of the world. Like it's a little disrespectful that like, you know, you're kind of treating me like I'm just some pebble on the street. You just kick me around like this and that. Or like you'd abuse my kindness. Like, you know, it's like,
what's your circle like these days? Are you feeling better about it, or?
Yeah, I have one really good friend. I have a couple really good friends.
Nice.
Like Steven, my homie Tristan, and then my homie John. Like those are the guy dudes that I hang out with.
Yeah.
They, you know, I go over their house every once in a while. Like we all watch Survivor. Okay. Every Wednesday we get super high and just watch Survivor. So, we just do that every once in a while. We play Apex together. Like they've been my high school friends for a very long time.
Nice.
So it's cool that I was able to keep my high school friends, like the core group. And then I have another friend, my friend Susie, or Azucena is how her real name, but Susie is what we call her.
Yeah.
She's honestly, dude, she's really, really cool. She's very supportive of my comedy. She's always telling me like, oh dude, like I'm so jealous that you do comedy. Like it's so nerve wracking to be on stage. I don't know how you do that. And I'm like, I just, you know, get in the mode. Like, you know, I just go up there and I do get nervous, but like I get in the mode. There's a certain type of work mode that you get into that it's like, this is what you do.
Bro, you're a like by like, and I mean this, like you're a catch. Like you're a man that takes risk. Mm-hmm. You're a man's man because you fucking work, bro. You're an electrician. Mm-hmm. Like you go out, you work, and you know, just How long have you been an electrician now?
Now I think it'll be like 6 or 7 years.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. And all that stuff, as terrible as it was, man. Like you said earlier in the combo, like it's character development. Mm-hmm. Like now you kind of know. You know, not everybody deserves your love, your time, your space, and your kindness and everything you have to give, man. Like, yeah,
like growing up, like I'm from New York. I'm from Queens.
Flushing. Oh shit! I actually did not know that. Okay,
really?
Yeah.
I'm from Queens, New York. I was born there, but I was raised down here in Fuquay Varina. So like having to learn Southern hospitality down here in a world where you thought it was going to be like the worst because everyone minds their business and stuff. Like it's weird to learn friendly like accommodations down here and then that sticking to you because Southern hospitality, I guess technically is what I would describe myself because I'm very caring.
Yeah.
I never want anybody to feel like they can't come and have a good time. So it's like, I really think about that when I think of describing myself. Southern hospitality.
And you're Mexican too. So you guys are like, yo, let's party. Let's hang out. Hey,
carne asada this Saturday. No, it's cool. It's cool that I'm able to, it may sound weird, but like, it's cool that I'm able to go through those hard moments. Cause I was homeless for a little while when I was younger in middle school.
Oh,
like,
damn.
Yeah. Me and my mom, like they were going through a divorce and like we lost our house. Like there's a point in our life where we thought we were there. We were finally the middle class family that had a big house and this and that. Like we were cool.
Yeah.
And my mom and dad had a restaurant, but when they split up, we lost the restaurant, we lost the house. So we had to live like out and about. I remember our childhood friends that I still talk to, shouts out to you, Alex and Josh Anderson. They kept us in longer than they should have. Like in their house. We stayed at their house for like 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and they didn't have to do that at all. We probably would have been okay with just a week there, but like they kept us in for a long time and it just felt like a long sleepover. You know, because you're kids, like, you know, you this and that, like, oh, we're going to be chill. Like, you don't realize that, oh, you don't have a home to go to.
Yeah.
And you're trying to mask it with like your homies because you don't want to feel that like, and I was older than my siblings because I have 2 older siblings, but they were doing their own thing. Mm-hmm. So I was the oldest sibling there. So I had to make sure that my siblings were like not feeling the depression that I was at the time. That was my first taste of depression because I really was a happy kid, but like I was being bullied a lot. So I just thought that was just kids doing kid things. Cause I was like, I thought that was normal to get picked on. Mm-hmm. And then like you grow up and you're like, no, that's not normal.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually really bad. I have a bit where I do like, I'm not going to say the whole bit cause it's kind of long, but it's just about my first fight that I've ever been to.
Wait, you could do the whole bit if you want.
So the fight is like, I was in middle school and this kid just kept giving me shit. And I decided like, all right, I'm going to stand up for myself. And I stand up for myself. I was like, dude, stop doing that. And I kind of push him. And this dude goes for a choke. Like he comes at me and chokes me and he slams me against the window. And so essentially like, it just feels like a concussion grenade just fucking went off and you're like, like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You know, your vision's getting blurry and it's going dark and you hear everyone's voice just like kind of fucking like clear out and then dark.
Fading.
Yeah, and then dark.
Oh, so you passed out from
Yeah,
the choke?
because like it
damn.
wasn't the choke, it was more so he pushed me against the bus like window. I don't know if you remember like bus windows, it's not just one piece. It's like several pieces of like sticking out metal and this and that. And like, so when he hit me with that, I kind of just like, goosh, and like, it felt like, and we're going to reference an anime here. Like, you know, when Naruto gets fucking punched and like he hits a wall.
Yeah.
And he's just, or no, Goku. Say Goku's like getting hit through the canyons and like you're going through the canyons. Yeah. That's exactly what it felt like I was going through. Like when I hit that wall, I got stuck. I was like, doosh. And so, I wake up and like, it's middle school. So it's a health class that I wake up into. There's no nurse office in our school. It's a fucking health class and you're just on a bed, like a display, like table bed where they do like the CPR classes and stuff like that with the dummies. I was laying there with the health teacher, like, are you okay? Like, do we need to call an ambulance? And I look around and it's in the middle of a fucking first period class. There's just all these girls trying to learn health class. And I'm just there laying like I'm their subject. Like, like, you know, when like you think of aliens like abducting you, you're like laying down and it's like the aliens around you. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's just a goofy little bit about me getting bullied. But
damn.
Yeah, I mean, like, shit just happens, dude. You got to find the light in it, because if you don't, it's just ruin your life.
It'll consume you. Yeah. And I'm telling you, man, I think as a man, you're on the right track. Dude, you're 23 and you're like, you pay for all your own shit. Like,
yeah. So I live with my mom now for COVID.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to get my life together because I had a lot of debt because of, you know, when you're young, you just want to buy a lot of other shit that isn't important.
Yeah.
Like I remember my first credit card, I went to a van store and I fucking hit the limit on one trip to the van store, and I didn't pay it back till like years later. And so it's like there's a lot of learning when you're young and you get thrown into the real world super early. And so like a lot of the times it's like either you learn it now or you're never going to learn it.
Oh, dude, this is the time for you to learn it. Mm-hmm. 23, bro, this is the time to make those mistakes. It sounds like you made them even earlier than that. And you have your job now. You're doing like a fucking real man's job. Mm-hmm. I think you've learned your lessons at a good time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And I appreciate the lessons that I've learned, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. So
100%.
Like all the bad shit that I had to go to, all those crying in the showers, listening to fucking My Chemical Romance on the bus ride to school, like it was worth it, because I feel cool now. Like I feel all right.
Yeah. You don't want to be like me, learning your financial lessons in your late 20s and early 30s, bro. So you're on the right track, brother. This has been a very, very fun conversation. We talked about anime, love, heartbreak, fucking friendship. This has been an anime episode.
Yeah, this is a shonen. This is a shonen story, dude.
Never giving up, bro. Dude, I'm so excited to like, dude, you're the man. Before we go, for anybody listening to this that's been like, should I start anime? It's, it's become more popular and all that. What are what are a handful of good starter animes?
So I like to ask the person what they're into movie wise. Ooh. A lot of the movies that they watch really help with like figuring out like what kind of anime they're into. So like, say someone's like a horror junkie, someone likes horror or slasher like stuff. The things I would recommend for them, Jujutsu Kaisen's a good starter for anybody. So that's an all-around anime anybody could watch. Parasite on Netflix is a really good horror like starter anime. Okay. Because it's just about a dude who gets infected by some alien and he gets like a giant blade, but it's good. Yeah. It's a good one. It's a good alien, and every other alien is really evil. So it's just scary. It's like spooky knowing that the person that you thought was normal yesterday is now an alien today, and you have to decide whether or not you want to eliminate it or not. It's really creepy.
I see that one come up. I'm like, that looks like a good one.
It's super good.
Parasite.
It's another one of those humanity-esque animes. Ooh. Like you learn like the good versus the evil decision.
Yeah. I got to get on that.
For someone that likes superhero stuff or like that is into the Marvel movies, I don't watch it a lot, but I do recommend like My Hero because that's a really good one. Mm-hmm. For people that are starting. I really didn't get into it because I'm not like fond of like superhero like anime, mm-hmm. but like it's a good story. It's a really good empowering story from what I've read. I like reading it better than I do like watching it.
Okay.
Hunter x Hunter obviously is a really good one for people that like superheroes.
Yeah, that's the one we. That's the
one we were talking about today. And Naruto.
Naruto's great. Mm-hmm. Demon Slayer. Where does that fall into? What type of movies would somebody...
Demon Slayer is like a drama.
Okay.
In my opinion. Someone that really likes drama, but like also like the serious kind of like the funny moments too, like kind of goofy-esque, like the comedy or like... What's it called when the character's like the funny one in this really serious movie? I don't know. The comic relief.
Okay, yeah.
Like a serious movie with a comic relief character. Demon Slayer is a solid choice. Honestly, Demon Slayer is a really good all around choice too.
It's beautiful too.
Yeah,
the animation's great. Yeah. What is it? Death Note would be like if you like detective.
Oh yeah, if you like listening to crime podcast or like if you watch true crime, Dexter, dude, Death Note is a really fucking solid. Death Note and Tokyo Ghoul are really fucking solid ones for those kinds of people.
Okay.
Tokyo Ghoul is like another demon-esque, like kind of horror-esque kind of show, but like it has a lot to do with like detectives that are the demons and they're trying to eliminate all the bad ones. Essentially, it's like White Collar versus the Projects kind of thing, because like they look at demons as like the scum, like the scum of the earth, and they are demons. So it's like, oh, you were once them, but now you're in a higher power. You have the ability to get rid of them.
So there's like almost like a metaphorical thing on socioeconomic stuff going on.
Yeah, nice. Okay. It's a really solid one. And I like it just because like the fights in that story are really fucking sick. They're really cool. And like is an anime made in 2000 like the last decade of anime, so like 2005 to like 12.
Okay.
Is what I consider the last decade of anime.
Well, one disclaimer I like to give people that are jumping into anime is warning them about the weird things.
Oh yeah, Japanese culture in the anime versus like westernized culture. Yes. You're going to see a lot of weird shit. There's a lot of like
scream dialogue is something that could turn people off. You just kind of got to like get
or like when the characters think to themselves and they're speaking really loud, like they have the monologue moments. It's like that happens a lot, but that's to tell you what the character's thinking and what their motive is. It's essentially a perspective clip is what I like to call it.
Yeah.
That's another thing. What's another thing that I could really like for a disclaimer?
The sexual stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like there's some weird stuff where I'm like, did you have to, was that camera angle necessary?
Yeah, it's called fan service. That's what that's called. Yeah, it's called fan service. So like fan service happens a lot in like the popular one. Like Naruto does a lot of fan service sometimes, like in its like separate stories, like the bathtub scenes or like this and that, or the shower scenes are like very like fan servicey, and like just be careful for that. It's very raunchy. It's not like what we show here in the Western like culture.
Yeah,
it's very different over there in Japan. Like they're like how they sexualize like people.
Yeah.
Another thing, there's an argument where like watching anime dub and watching it sub is a very big argument. In my opinion, if you want like the best voice acting of the show, subbed is the best way. But there's a lot of dubbed anime that's like really cool. Dubbed as in like it's English. It's in English.
Yeah.
One
way I'd like to tell people is like start dub, and if the dialogue is distracting because it sounds corny to you and too like hello like blah blah, that's what we did with Squid Game. My girl was like, She was like, this sounds weird. I was like, that's because I told her, I was like, let's watch the sub. She goes, I don't want to read subtitles. That's a big American hurdle.
But then when you watch Squid Games in dub, it's like the worst fucking shit ever, dude.
He's like, whoa. I'm like, babe, that doesn't match with what's going on. She goes, all right, let's watch sub. She goes, you are 100% right. So I usually tell people, start with dub. And if it sounds corny or cringy, the dialogue, switch to over. Sub. And it doesn't take long to figure it out. Like, yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude. This is fun as hell, dude. Sorry, go ahead.
Could I give one more recommendation?
100%.
So there, because we talked about a lot of serious stuff. I want to give somebody like a very like funny anime to watch. Gintama. Gintama is a samurai like anime, but it's super fucking funny. It's very self-aware, so it'll reference shit from our world. So like there was like a part in the intro, you know how intros are always the same for anime. This one intro is just them fucking the intro up and they crash at the end. And it's like, why don't we use the same clip for the intro? Like, why does it always have to be recorded different? And the main character is like, shut up. This is just what we do. And so it's like, it's very self-aware. So if you want something funny, Gintama is the way to go. It's the funniest fucking anime I've ever seen.
All right, cool. Hell yeah. You just put me on game too. So this is great. Alex, where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter at pseudoboy, pseudo.boy. I'm on YouTube, Young Biggs is my YouTube channel. It just has like a funny face of like just my cousin with glasses on. But I do a lot of like documentary-esque stuff, like film documentaries. Like
nice.
I have one movie out called Lens Flare Volume 1, and it's just me and like my fashion friends from when I was working at Vans.
Yeah.
And I just documented it. Like I filmed our hangout, and it was really fucking fun.
Oh, nice.
So that's on YouTube. And I do a comedy game show every Sunday with Sasha Goldman, another comedian here, local comedian here.
Yeah, love Sasha.
Yeah, we do that every Sunday. Videos on YouTube, the comedy game show.
I got to get on.
Dude, hopefully we get you on, man.
Yeah. Who you guys have? Who you guys having on tomorrow?
We're not doing a show tomorrow.
Okay.
It's next week. I think next week it's like it's Kellum, Brittany, Sanchez, and then somebody else.
Nice. I'll reach out. I'll link up with you guys so I can get on there. That's it for us, dude. That was an awesome talk, man.
Dude, thank you.
This made my day
so
better.
much.
Thank you, guys. Subscribe to FredTalk. Follow Alex on Instagram and Twitter. YouTube channel as well. Share my stuff. Keep showing love, guys. I'll keep bringing you that hot shit. Bye.
Bye.